Initially the point was to talk on leadership. That's a very large topic. So then we narrowed it down to succession planning. And then I realized I have less than 30 minutes to talk on this subject. So I will be talking at I'll go very fast and focus on key points to think about. So I'm not going to give you solutions. I'm going to give you frameworks to think about and to focus on, because everyone's situation is unique and you cannot give one answer to everything. So what I'm going to do is give you just a few things to think about, and that's what I do. The idea is to provoke thought. So let's begin with this word business sutra and how I approach the subject. You see, all management lessons as we know it today, when you say about anything about management, where does the knowledge come from? The knowledge comes to us from an American university or a European university. The origin is rarely Indian. It's very rare that knowledge comes from India. Very few knowledge has come from India. There is knowledge in India, but it is not part of our educational system. And most of our knowledge is locked in storytelling. That's how Indian knowledge has been transmitted over generations. So all our knowledge is not something that is found in a textbook. It's found in the simplest of stories. And I will share some of it with you. Yeah. So let's look at this. What is Business Sutra? Business Sutra is an idea. It says that as is your belief, so is your behavior, and so is your business. Jaisa Vishwas, Vaisa Vyavhar, Vaisa Vyapar. This is a concept. Now the thing is, I can measure business. I can measure behavior. And we have been told that which is measurable can be managed. But belief is not measurable. So while Vyapar and Vyavahar sagun hota hai, sagun means measurable, belief nirgun hota hai. It cannot be measured. You have to ask yourself, what matters more? Measurable, sagun, business behavior, or belief, which is nirgun? Now, what is the definition of belief? Belief is subjective truth. Your truth and my truth. You see the world in one way, I see the world in another way. Which is right? And that is the source of all conflicts. I see things this way and you see things that way. And that is belief. Does it matter? It depends on how you look at your business. Is your business a set of targets? Is your business a set of tasks? Is your business a set of rules? Or is your business a set of people? If you believe your business is a set of people, then people's beliefs, that means their subjective truth, matters. How they look at the world, that matters. How do I get into people's imagination? What do they believe? So let's look at first belief. And this belief has been put together in a very famous epic known as the Ramayana. Look at this belief. This belief is that the next generation has to solve problems. You see, in India, there is the concept of the ashrama system. In the first quarter of your life, you are a student. In the second quarter of your life, you are a productive householder. In the third quarter of your life, you have to pass on your knowledge to the next generation. In the fourth quarter, you move on to whatever you want to do, the next space. And that's the idea. In the first part of my life, I'm a prince. In the second part, I'm a king. But then I have to change into a kingmaker. And when I'm a kingmaker, I prepare the prince to become a king. So when you read the epic Ramayana, it talks about a king called Kaushik, who then becomes Vishwamitra, the kingmaker, and invests his time and energy in transforming a prince called Ram into a great king by teaching him at one level how to kill Tataka, a demoness. You have to kill her. It's an exercise in extreme ruthlessness. And the next story is how to save Ahilya. which is an exercise of extreme compassion. So in one journey, you are taught both ruthlessness and compassion, which is the hallmark of a king. When you read the Ramayana, it talks about when Ram comes back with his wife, Dashrath says, it's time for me to go to the next stage of my life. It's time to make him king. He has been trained by the kingmaker Vishwamitra. I can now go to the next phase. This is the Ramayana. But there's a second belief. And that comes from the Mahabharata. And the Mahabharata says, only I can solve problems. The next generation is not capable or not yet ready. So you have this very powerful character, Devdutt, Bhishma. Generation 1, he says, I have to solve the problems. Then this next generation comes, he says, I have to solve that problems because they are not good enough. Then generation 3 comes, he says, oh, I have to solve this problem because they are not good enough. And so one generation passes of his brothers who are like his sons. The second generation passes, which are like his grandsons. The third generation comes, which is like his great-grandsons. And Bhishma Pitamaha is going nowhere. Because he has the gift of immortality. Ichha mrityu. He doesn't go away. He's always going to be around. So what does Krishna do? He pins him to the ground. He is shot down and pinned. You can't be killed, so you shall be immobilized. Is there a conversation happening over here? So this is Ramayana, and this is the Mahabharata. And we are told, always read the Ramayana inside your house, never the Mahabharata. Two ideas, and we have to ask ourselves, what is mera vishwas kya hai? What do I believe? Kaisa vishwas? Kaisa vyavhar, vaisa vyapar. And that's the whole narrative, a very struggle. You see, let's look at the situation in India. This is the grandfather. He grew up in post-independence India. He grew up listening to the stories of Mother India, how she struggled against terrible forces and became this powerful woman. Then the father, the next generation, grew up watching Diwar, License Raj. Time when everything was controlled by the government. Remember these films? There was a very famous character. The villain in this film was always called a smuggler. In this film, the villain was a munim, the village money lender. He was evil. Then it became the smuggler who breaks the law, and he was almost romanticized. Today in films, you don't see the munim. You don't see the smuggler. Have you seen those films? Today in many films, you don't even see poverty because we are the generation of kuch kuch hota hai. It's a new generation. It's the generation of internet, of cable TV, of mobile phones. In the internet, you don't see poverty. In a Karan Johar film, you will never see a poor person. Everyone is beautiful and rich. This is the new generation of India, which lives in a different planet. And the problem is, each one thinks they are right. The grandfather will say, "Pata hai, mere zamane mein kya hota tha?" And the father will say, "Do you know how much we struggled against the license Raj?" And the son will say, "Oh dad, can I just unlike you on Facebook?" You know, these are the uncomfortable realities of our lives. We live in different planets. We would like to believe we live in the same house, yes. But look at our belief systems. And Bollywood films are a very good example of what is happening to the world. Today we don't talk about Mother India, we talk about Sheila Ki Jawani. And mothers encourage their children to dance to it. The world has changed. The thing is, we have to recognize this. Yug badal gaya hai. The world has changed, not just the political establishment, but the rules of the game at home have changed. But we have to look at what has not changed. What has not changed? This has not changed. If you want to achieve something, you have to run. If you want to catch something, you have to run. If you don't want to get caught, you have to run. This was true 1,000 years ago. This will be a true 1,000 years later. Daudna to padega. That is why you see, both of them have a target. The deer has a target called security, and the cheetah has a target called food. The Hindi word for target is Laksh. From Laksh comes Lakshmi. Agar Lakshmi chahiye, to daudna to padega. What does not change? This does not change. The pecking order. Question is, in this picture, who is the grandfather? Who is the father? Who is the child? Or are they even related by blood in the animal kingdom? Or is it by power? Who is the strongest? Sabse bada kaun hai? It need not be the father. It might be the brother. Nature is organized on hierarchies. This doesn't change. Organizations, there are hierarchies. Where do you want to belong? In your imagination, where do you want to belong? Alpha, beta, or omega? What is the desirable place? What doesn't change is this. एक तलवार में एक म्यान में दो तलवार नहीं रहते. When I see you as competition, I will fight for territory. This doesn't change. ये सनातन है, timeless. You will run for food and survival. You will exist in a pecking order. You will fight your rivals to dominate. Nobody wants to be like this deer. Look at this deer. She has all the food in the world to eat. So much grass to eat. So much money. But she looks frightened. Because more the grass, more the tigers ready to hide in it to kill her. Nobody likes feeling powerless. Everybody wants to feel powerful. Every sales conference you go, just look at it. They'll say, roar like a lion, be like a tiger. Nobody talks, be like a little rat. We all want to be the alpha on top of the food chain. We want to be on top of the pecking order. We desire it. We hate this. We hate being pulled back. And those chains that pull us back. What is this chain? This could be a riti, niti, laws and traditions that hold us back. And we hate it. These laws were different in the Mother India generation. These laws were different for the Diwar generation. This law is different for the Kuch Kuch Hota generation. And this is where conflict starts. This is where the fight starts. You don't see this in the Ramayana. You do see this in the Mahabharata. You don't see this in the Ramayana. You see this in the Mahabharata. There is conversation happening in these stories. We forget that humans are 99% animals. Pashu hamare andar hai. From a genetic point of view, only 4% of your genes is exclusively human. Which means the deer is inside you, the tiger is inside you, the alpha is inside you, the omega is inside you. Pashu andar hai. This doesn't change. Ye sanatan hai. It will never change. Whatever society you go to, wherever you go to, by time or space, here or there, then or now, this won't change. The animal instinct within us to dominate, to be aggressive, to be territorial. We want that. We love it. We love it when we win. Don't you love victory? It's so powerful. And that's life. So the question comes is, Darshan Karo. If you're doing succession planning, what is Darshan Karo? Across India, you have God's images with large eyes, big eyes, to look. Look carefully. Look at the people around you. What are you looking at? Are you seeing what you're imagining, or are you actually seeing? Are you seeing your child? Are you seeing the son, the daughter, the relationship between them? Are you observing their animal instincts? Are they suppressing their animal instincts? Are they amplifying it? What is the fear that is motivating them? Do they want to be alphas? Do you want them to be alphas? In your house, how many alphas are allowed? Who is the omega? And these are conversations we don't talk about. This is not taught in B school. But ye sanatan hai. So darshan karte hain. Let's look at our children. Let us look at my child. First checklist. This is an image of Durga, the goddess. She has two daughters according to the Bengali tradition. One is Lakshmi and one is Durga. One is Lakshmi and one is Saraswati. Durga is the goddess of power. You only do things in your life that makes you powerful. So first question to be asked with your child, is he interested in the business? Does he feel powerful when he goes and does business? Ichha hai? Checklist 1. Agar ichha hai to dusri baat. Saraswati. Kshamata hai, capability. Does he is capable? He may be interested, but he's not capable. Check that. Darshan karo. Third point, Lakshmi. Is he resourceful? Sansadhan hai. Does he have the resources to do what he wants to do? And these 3 points we forget. The Durga part, interest. Saraswati part, capability. Lakshmi part, he's imagining things but he doesn't have resources. You have it. First checklist. And then comes the more important checklist. The identification of your son. And that nobody can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Ask yourself, who is your son or daughter? We live in a new world order. It's not just about sons. It's not about daughters. It's not about the next generation. It's gender neutral. So let's ask, who is your son? Is your son Ram, 100% compliant? Whatever I tell him, he does. Second, is your son Ravan? Sunta hi nahi meri baat. Defiant, does his own thing. Is he Krishna? Innovator. I would like to say manipulator, but I'm not allowed. So innovator is a better word. It's a corporate version of manipulation. मेरा बेटा तो कृष्ण है, बात सुनता नहीं है लेकिन बहुत प्यार करता है मुझसे. और इज ही दुर्योधन, बगुला भगत, पैर छूता है लेकिन अपना ही काम करता है. The pretender who agrees to disagrees. In management schools, he is called a professional. How will you differentiate? When I will always say that my son is Ram, but the world says he's Duryodhan. I will always say my son is Krishna, but the whole world says, ye to Ravan hai. So this is Ramayana and Mahabharata in a 2x2 matrix. Does he do what I tell him to do? Ye vyavahar hai. This is behavior. Does he believe in what I believe in? Vishwas kya hai uska? That is the y-axis. वो अलग बात है. If he obeys me, how do you know the difference between Ram and Duryodhan? Both of them are obedient. And how do you know the difference between Krishna and Ravan? Both of them are disobedient. But look at the y-axis. The moment you say the y-axis, does he believe in what I believe in? He believes, yes. फिर वो राम है या कृष्ण है? Doesn't believe. विश्वास की बात, निर्गुण जो है, दिखाई नहीं देता. How will you know? विश्वास थोड़ी ना दिखाई देता है. दिल की बात थोड़ी ना पता चलता है. I can only see whether he falls at my feet and he comes to me when I call him. But दिल की बात क्या है? अंदर क्या चल रहा है? अंदर बोल रहा है कि कब जाएगा ये राजा? कब मैं बनूंगा युवराज? बनते बनते सफेद बाल बन गए. छोड़ ही नहीं रहा है गद्दी. Difficult conversations. This is not solved by family constitutions. This will not be solved by a family constitution. This is dil ki baat. This is raw, elemental business. You don't really do this in a conference. You do it on one-on-one. But I will try. The question is, we don't want our children to be Ravan and Duryodhana. Nobody wants it. Nobody in this world says, I want a child who's Ravan. Because wo to kya aadmi hai? Meri patni, teri patni bhi meri patni. You don't want that. You don't want, hamare bacche achhe sanskar hai. We want our children to be on the upper side. We want them to be Ram and Krishna. The question is, what makes them go south? What makes them Duryodhana and Ravan? That's the question. That's a fundamental question. And the scriptures tell us that also. They explain this. They say, look at Krishna's mother. This is Yashoda. She's punishing him for stealing butter. She's punishing him. There's a disciplinary action taking place at that point. But look at her emotion. While she's punishing him, she's extremely upset. Uska bhav dekho. She's upset that, boy, you're not living up to your potential. I know you are capable of being Ram. Why are you troubling me so? Look at the bhav of the mother and the child. Look at this gender neutral. Remove the gender from here. It's a parent. He's being disciplined, but bhav dekho. Full of affection. Mamatva hai. Affection. Vatsalya hai. And then look at Duryodhan's mother. Gandhari. This is Duryodhan. Uski kahani dekho. It's very easy to say Bagula Bhagat hai, pretender hai, professional hai. He's not, dil saaf nahi hai. But his father is blind and his mother is blindfolded. What does it mean? Uska koi darshan nahi kar raha hai. Nobody looks at him. Father is too busy making money in the office. The entire childhood has gone neglected. Mother is too busy to look at him. She has blindfolded herself. Mujhe koi dekhta nahi hai. What happens to you when nobody looks at you, appreciates you, punishes you? Dhyan mere taraf nahi hai. It makes you insecure. And when you are insecure, the animal inside you amplifies. You get scared. You say, I will be alpha. I will never be frightened. Mujhe dar nahi chahiye. I want to be alpha. On top of the food chain, on top of the pecking order. Nobody will frighten me. And that's how a Duryodhana is born. The question is, Jaisa Gangotri, Vaisa Ganga. As is the source, so is the delta. Jaisa Bij, Vaisa Phal. If you have not been Yashoda, you have no right to expect a Ram and Krishna. If you have been Gandhari, you will have to deal with the Ravan and the Duryodhan. This is human relationships. This is about darshan. So the question is, if I want to plan my family, darshan karo. Look at the next generation. Observe them. Enable them to solve problems. Only then will you have Raja Ram. Only then you will have Leela Purushottam Krishna. Or jahan Ram, jahan Krishna, wahan Vishnu. Jahan Vishnu, wahan Lakshmi. If you want Lakshmi to come your way, you want wealth to walk in your direction, you have to invest in the next generation. And you have to learn to let go. Thank you.